The town of Koriba gathered in the old stone church, mourning the sudden passing of their beloved teacher, Mama Jara. The wooden casket lay at the front, surrounded by fresh white lilies. Pastor Django, the town's trusted leader, spoke solemn words of farewell. But amidst the sorrow, a loud bark shattered the silence. It was Kofi, Mama Jara's faithful dog. He stood at the entrance, his brown fur bristling, his tail stiff. He barked again, staring at the casket. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some dismissed it as grief, but others felt a strange unease. Kofi's barks grew louder as he moved forward, scratching at the wooden floor near the casket. The tension in the church thickened. Elder Damo frowned, his eyes narrowing. "Dogs sense things we cannot see," he murmured. But Pastor Django waved a dismissive hand. "The dog is distressed. Remove him from the church." A young man, Sefu, stepped forward. He was new in town, but he had always been curious. "What if he is trying to tell us something?" he asked. Pastor Django's face twitched, but he forced a smile. "Let us focus on honoring Mama Jara," he insisted. Despite the pastor's words, Sefu couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Kofi had stopped barking but now let out low, rumbling growls. His eyes remained locked on the casket. Sefu turned to the villagers. Mama Jara's death was sudden. Does anyone know exactly what happened? The crowd exchanged glances. Pastor Django clenched his Bible. She passed peacefully in her sleep. That is all we need to know. But Sefu noted the slight tremor in his voice. He looked at Kofi, whose tail remained stiff, and knew he had to uncover the truth. That evening, as the village settled into silence, Sefu sat outside, staring at the dimly lit church. Kofi rested beside him, ears twitching at every distant sound. Something about the pastor's reaction unsettled him. Then, Kofi suddenly sprang up, barking toward the path leading to Mama Jara's house. "What is it, boy?" Sefu whispered. He decided to follow. The path was dark, the night wind rustling the trees. When they reached the house, the door creaked open slightly. Someone had been there. Inside, the room was in disarray. Papers scattered across the wooden table, a broken lamp lay on the floor. Kofi sniffed around, stopping near a wooden drawer. Sefu pulled it open and found a leather-bound book. It was Mama Jara's journal. Flipping through, his breath caught at one entry, "Pastor Django is hiding something. The church's donations don't add up. I confronted him, but he dismissed me. I must find proof." Sefu's hands trembled. Had she discovered something that cost her life? Sefu turned page after page, each revealing more troubling details. Mama Jara had found records of money disappearing from the church's donation fund. She suspected Pastor Django of stealing from the villagers. Sefu clenched his fists. If she had confronted him, what had happened next? Kofi whimpered and nudged a pile of papers on the floor. Beneath them lay a small brass key. "What do you lead me to, boy?" Sefu muttered. He pocketed the key, determined to uncover more. Back at the church, Sefu searched for anything the key might open. Kofi led him behind the altar, where an old wooden cabinet stood. He inserted the key, and with a soft click, the door creaked open. Inside were stacks of papers and ledgers. Sefu scanned them, his heart pounding. The records confirmed Mama Jara's suspicions: large sums of money had been stolen. But then, a faint sound made him freeze. Someone was approaching. He quickly closed the cabinet and slipped into the shadows. Pastor Django entered, a lantern in hand. His eyes darted around suspiciously. He walked to the cabinet and pulled it open, flipping through the documents. Still intact, he murmured. Sefu's heart raced. He stepped forward. You stole from the people, he said. The pastor whirled around, his face darkening. You should not be here, Sefu, he said coldly. Mama Jara knew too much. And now, so do you. Before Pastor Django could react, Kofi lunged, teeth bared. The pastor stumbled back, dropping the lantern. It shattered, flames licking at the wooden floor. Sefu grabbed a handful of documents and ran, Kofi at his heels. Smoke filled the air as the fire spread. Outside, villagers awoke to the commotion. Fire, someone screamed. The church's roof began to burn, and Pastor Django stumbled out, coughing. Sefu held up the stolen records. Pastor Django stole from you. The villagers gasped. An elder grabbed the papers, reading through them. Is this true, Pastor? Django, cornered, looked around wildly. I did it for the church, he protested. But the truth was out. Furious villagers restrained him as the elders called for justice. With undeniable proof, the village elders gathered to decide Pastor Django's fate. He betrayed our trust, Elder Demo declared. He must answer for his crimes. That night, under the bright moon, the villagers exiled Pastor Django. Without his influence, the village began to heal. A week later, the villagers gathered once more, this time to properly honor Mama Jara. She died seeking justice for us, Sefu said. Let us remember her courage. They planted a tree in her memory, a symbol of truth and strength. Kofi sat beside it, his eyes watching over the village, as if still protecting his beloved owner. With Pastor Django gone, the village moved forward. Sefu, now trusted by the people, helped rebuild the church and ensure donations went where they should. Mama Jara's spirit lived on in the children she taught and the justice she had fought for. And every evening, as the sun set, Kofi would sit by the tree, a silent guardian of the village's truth. The past had been dark, but a new dawn had come to Koriba. Thank you for joining us on this magical journey through the heart of the village. We hope this story has shown you the beauty and mystery that can be found in everyday life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this tale with your friends. Who knows what other secrets we will uncover in the next adventure?